No, they're not moving. Here we go. Listen to this for a second.
Okay.
All right. First of all, my question was, if you look at the Laker roster, okay, so it's LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
I'm looking at it now.
Good. And everybody else.
Okay.
Dwight Howard's on there and Kuzma. Now, look at the Clipper roster. You have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Montrezl Harrell, Patrick Beverley, everybody else. Okay? There are the rosters. If you were to take the current Laker roster and move it to a different market, so the Lakers are playing in Oklahoma City. That's OKC's roster.
Okay.
Got it?
I think so.
Okay. And you were to take the Clipper roster and put it in another market, Portland. So the current Clipper players are now in Portland. So you don't have any association with them. Those are the two rosters. They're not in L.A.
So there's no L.A. bias going on right
There's
here.
no L.A. bias.
Okay.
You look at the two rosters. You tell me which is the better roster. There's no L.A. bias. Which is the better roster? That's what I was saying when we came on the air. Because I think if you really look at it, and there's no L.A. bias to it, I think the Clipper roster is better. I think you would take the Clipper roster. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I think if you throw it up in the air, I think you get 50-50.
There's no bias, Rodney.
I would say,
you can't have any bias.
I would say this. Before the injury to DeMarcus Cousins, I would argue that the Lakers had the better roster. But now that he's out, I would go Clippers now. But before that, I would say Lakers because I think DeMarcus Cousins was about to have a big year.
Well, obviously, you're putting the Lakers and the Clippers in a vacuum.
What are you trying to say about
What kind
Portland?
of vacuum am I putting them in, Vic?
What are you trying to say about my friends in Portland, Vic?
You're putting the squads out of the Ciudad into a neutral site.
Right.
Interesting concept, Freddie.
Thank you, Vic. I appreciate that.
The D will set you free. It's been my mantra for many, many years.
Whatever that means involving this.
From the streets of New York. And the defense is what it's about. That's how you win championships. That's how Toronto won a championship, with Kawhi as spearheading that defensive movement in Toronto.
Yes.
I believe the Clippers have a better roster defensively. And to me, defense gets you bling. I like the Clipper roster.
Okay, now look at this, Laker fans. If you look at the Laker roster as it's constructed, and also let's make the argument right now, both teams in the conversation, both teams have a chance to really win it all this year. And that's highly unusual when you have both of the teams at the same time with a chance to win it. But if you look at the Laker roster and you're really honest about it, they're a little long in the tooth. They're a veteran squad and they're older. Number two, a few of the players on that team may be a bit overhyped. Maybe not what you think they are. And we're dealing with past performance. So, in that regard, in a few situations with the Lakers, you know what they're playing? The name game.
They are.
The name game.
Sing it, Vic.
The name game.
All right. Let's get to those players. Number one, Dwight Howard.
So we're talking about the Lakers being overhyped is what you're saying.
We're saying some of the players on that roster, Rodney, are overhyped. Dwight Howard. Everybody's excited about Dwight Howard. And this is all built on emotion. So when a team goes out and signs somebody, everybody gets excited. He could be the missing piece of the puzzle, right? It's all built on emotion.
No. Let's get it. Let's be clear. And I think the Lakers were very clear, and the people were surrounding the Lakers were very clear. They're not expecting Dwight Howard to be Dwight Howard of 10 years ago. They're not expecting him to come to be, the guy he was in Orlando. They're expecting him to fill a void that was left by DeMarcus Cousins and have a big body underneath. They're not expecting him to be a 20-10 guy. So let's not have any illusions of what the expectations are for Dwight Howard. So you can say it's a hype and name game all you want, but they needed a big body to fill that void.
Yeah, but he's pretty hyped about it. He's being hyped about this. He's the guy they need.
But not to be dominant, Fred. That's what I'm saying. He's not hyped up to be dominant. He's hyped up to be on this team. And yeah, he's got a reputation that precedes him, but there's no illusions, I think, in the Laker brass that he's going to go out and be dominant like he was at some point in his career.
And let's face it, El Luminario, Dwight Howard's first taste with the Lakers was a disaster because obviously the coaching staff.
Because he was a head case, Vic.
Well, he was injured. He had a very bad back. I was with Dwight a lot that year.
Bad back, Fred.
He had horrific back spasms.
And horrific head.
And played through them. And obviously, he and Kobe's style were totally clashed, but D'Antoni's style also is not Dwight Howard's style. And, also, same with Pau Gasol. That's why, Pau is not under the D'Antoni offensive patterns.
We don't have enough time.
So Dwight this time, no pressure really on Dwight.
Okay, so
20 good minutes. 20 good minutes.
You don't think
Good
he's
point,
overhyped?
Vichy.
I don't believe it all.
No pressure on Dwight because he's not expected to do much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no hype for Dwight.
All right, is there hype
The name game.
for Rajon Rondo? Is there hype for Rajon Rondo?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of that, thinking that he can get back to form. But what you can't measure, I know people like to throw out his stats and how they've diminished over the years and things like that, but you cannot take for granted or devalue is his leadership. His leadership on the court, his leadership in the clubhouse or the locker room, his leadership with other players. You cannot devalue that. So I don't think that's overhyped when you have a Rajon Rondo on your team.
Yeah, obviously Rondo's lost a step. Who hasn't in the last few years? But he's still a basketball genius.
Yes. Savant. if you will, Vic.
LeBron loves him. LeBron loves Rondo. That's
And the
all you
other
got to know.
players do.
That's all you got to know. LeBron loves Rondo. Basketball genius, incredible floor leader. Yes, his outside shot is a little, isn't fabulous. Sensational slash to the basket. Great playmaker.
So you're saying he doesn't possess the same kind of ability, basically for him,
The name game.
and he's a great leader.
Not buying
Yes.
that. Not buying that whole name game thing with him. Go ahead. Who you got next?
Okay. Could this be overhyped a little bit? LeBron James for MVP. If LeBron James is the MVP this year, the Lakers cannot win it all. And the reason being, he's playing too many minutes. You don't want him to play that many minutes. You want LeBron to play when it's necessary, when he can make a difference. But you don't need him playing 35 minutes a night, because I think if he does, he's going to get hurt again. And that would indicate that the Lakers will not win the title. They won't have a shot if he's hurt. That being said, is it overhype to talk about LeBron James as the MVP?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer, Freddie.
Why? Does that not make sense, Vic?
It makes sense. You don't want LeBron playing, more than 35, 36 minutes a game, entering his 16th year. Obviously, the groin is still lingering. We don't know if he can come back from that groin injury.
And couldn't we argue that's why he got hurt last year? Just all the minutes he played?
Oh, absolutely. And he was sacrosanct. His body was so pure. Of course, he spends $1 million a year just on reviving